What's up, y'all? Tommy here, and today I'm going to be breaking down business credit scores and explaining exactly how to go about A, knowing how to maximize your score, and B, how to actually see what your score is to begin with. All right, if that's something that interests you, be sure you stay tuned. So first off, what it actually is a business credit score. I think the easiest way to explain it is this: a business credit score is basically just the business equivalent of your personal credit score, right? Personal credit score is pretty much used by lenders to kind of gauge what your performance has been financially, or how it's kind of like you can look at it as like the adult version of a report card, right? To see how good you've been performing so they know how much they can lend to you and if they can even lend to you to begin with. It's the same idea with business credit, okay? Business credit scores are pretty much the same thing. That's just the way they can get an idea of your financial performance. The only difference that comes with business credit scores is they just look at different factors that might not be looked at when it comes to personal credit, okay? Which we'll jump into deeper here in the later sections. Now, when it comes to what actual score ranges there are, really you got to look at the different players in the space. It isn't broken down how your FICO score is, right? Where you can get from 300 all the way to an 850 credit score. With business credit, it's a little different, okay? So the biggest player in the space is going to be Dun & Bradstreet. They have what's called a paydex score. They're going to be followed by Experian. Experian has a Intella score, and then Equifax, which does business scoring as well. Now FICO does have a business credit score, which is called a small business scoring service. Typically, it's going to be, if you're trying to get like SBA loans and things like that, that's whenever those are going to be looked at. So next, let's break down exactly how the top scores are calculated, and then I'll show you how you can actually have an easy way to be able to view all your scores in one place. Now, most of them are going to be scored 0 to 100. Of course, there's always going to be one outlier that wants to do it their own way, which we'll jump into here. But you're going to see Dun & Bradstreet, they have what's called a paydex score, and it goes from 0 to 100, right? Now, the way you determine your paydex score, basically Dun & Bradstreet just is getting information from your suppliers, vendors, anybody that's extending you credit, they try to get to report or provide them that data. That way they can add it to your paydex score. And it's really looked on like a rolling 12-month period, right? So they want to see how you've been doing the past 12 months to be able to get the most accurate information, accurate data. Now, one thing to note is you will need at least 2 trade lines or 2 accounts reporting with at least what's called 3 credit experiences, right? So you've done at least 3 sorts of transactions or 3 instances of where they would actually want to report something, some sort of activity being done. Okay. Now, if you don't have those, typically you'll see that nothing will be shown up, or you won't even have a score at all, or have anything showing up on your Dun & Bradstreet report. Now, what you want to do is with these scores, it goes 0 to 100. Don't think it's like, in school where, as long as you get a C, you're passing. That's not how these work. You need to make sure that you don't drop lower than an 80, which I'll throw up the paydex score chart here so you can see on the screen. But you want to make sure that you stay no lower than an 80, because 80 pretty much says your payment comes on terms. So that pretty much means that you pay within the due date. But you typically want to make sure that you're paying as early as 30 days before. That way you can get to the 100, right? When companies see or lenders see that you're at 100, that shows that you have no financial issues, because you can pay literally earlier than what your due date is, right? And that's kind of where you want to be. That's going to put you in the best position when it comes to your paydex score. Your next score is going to be your Experian Intella Score Plus, okay? Now, this one goes 0 to 100 as well. You're going to see that there's over 800 different variables that they've said goes into the score, including your trade lines, collection information. They even look at public filings, things like that, and new account activity. But I think the bottom line is going to be the same thing that you kind of saw with the paydex score. It really comes down to you paying on time and you managing your debt well when it comes to you being able to build a good score, okay? Now, also, there's going to be your FICO liquid credit small business scoring service, right? And that one scores 0 to 300, okay? And this one's going to rank it just ranks businesses on their likelihood of making payments on time, right? So that's really the main factor that they're doing is, can you pay on time? That's it, right? So the higher the score, the better. Okay. And consistent history with timely, showing that you're making payments on time to your vendors and your suppliers can help boost your score easily with this. Okay. And the final one is going to be your Equifax business delinquency financial score, right? This one goes from 101 all the way to 650. I'd recommend you stay within the 585 to 650 range. That's going to be the top tier, right? You're going to be considered in that category low risk. So you want to try to make sure that you're staying in that category. And you might have noticed now at this point that the biggest differences that you're seeing between the business credit and personal credit is that personal credit is going to look at a lot of different aspects of your credit, like not just payment history, which is a big proponent of your business credit, but has he opened new accounts recently, right? How much debt do they have? How often are they applying for credit, whether those accounts are getting opened or not, things like that, right? Whereas you're going to see business credit, business credit typically is going to focus a lot less on that stuff. They still look at it, but they're primarily focused on your payment history, right? How are you at making payments? Are you paying on time? Are you paying late? Are you paying early? That's kind of the factors that they're going to want to be able to see. So when it comes to where you can actually see your business credit, the best place that I've found so far is a website called Nav. Now, what I'll do is I'll actually link to it down below, as well as I'll link to a video that I recently shot that actually talks about why I find this website so beneficial and a few other features that you can actually do with this website. Okay. What you can do is, well, first off, a lot of people, what they don't know is that with business credit, you can pull anyone's credit reports. It's not like personal credit where you need to get someone's authorization or you got to get their permission to be able to pull their credit. With businesses, you can pull any business's credit reports, right? So the dope thing about Nav is you're going to be able to access not only your credit reports, but you can access the credit reports of your competitors as well, right? That's one feature that I found is pretty dope, especially if you're looking to build out your business credit. You can pull your competitor's business credit, right? Your competitor's credit, and see what vendors or what suppliers that they're using, so you can actually leverage them too to be able to add more lines or trade lines showing up on your business credit. Okay, so that's one dope feature that I found that you can actually be able to take advantage of as well. Okay, so that's going to be really the gist of this video, guys. If you're interested in learning more about business credit, I've shot a series of videos. I'll link to a playlist down below that you can actually take a look at to be able to know a little bit more about what to do when it comes to different aspects of your business credit and being able to take advantage of that. I'll link to that down below. If you have any other questions when it comes to business credit or just building a business in general, throw it down in the comments down below and I'll be happy to shoot a video on it. As well as make sure you throw a like on this video if you found this information valuable. All right, so that's gonna be it for this video, guys. I appreciate y'all watching. Be sure you hit that subscribe button and I will see you in the next one. Peace.